Hello, my name is Orozco, and I'm doing my project on sustainability in the arts, going green in business. What does it mean to go green in business? Going green for business refers to adopting environmental friendly practices that reduces their ecological footprint while enhancing sustainability and corporate responsibility. And I feel like what that means to me was that artists or corporations try to kind of go like eco-friendly. They try to like help the our environment while still trying to like show off their arts and like how to like help the environment with the arts. And I've seen a lot of people already done this type of presentation, but I wanted to do mine a little bit more different. I wanted to focus more on corporations and people or like sole proprietors who have tried to go green in business or who have succeeded as well, um, who have tried to like go eco-friendly and try to like get their artwork out there and how they have contributed to our environment. So my first person, she's a sole perpetrator. Her name is Mariah Reading, and she's an eco artist. She practices using any debris she would find and uses them as canvases for her artwork. So I read in her website, um, and it's linked right here. Her website's right here. Um, how she contributes is she would collaborate with parks, and she would go on walks, and she would find any like debris, trash, like bottles, cans, literally anything she would find, and she would bring them back home, and she would paint on them. She would paint whatever she would want and she would sell them. So that's how she would contribute to our environment. And in her website, like I said, she sells her paintings. She also does commissions as well. And you just let her know. I found like there was a form. You just let her know what you want and she will paint it for you. And just by doing this, she has created less waste in the wildlife. So she has helped our environment a lot. Readings has many forms of income, such as grants, collaborations, teaching, commissions, and then selling her debris artwork. And that kind of like goes into like the investment decision. Um, she, I've seen that like she does teaching, like she teaches the arts, and she does collaborations with parks, um, you know, what was the other one? I believe she also kind of like does competitions too, competition awards. So those are kind of like her form of income, but that can also come with like her financial risk as well because she relies on grants, commissions. If people weren't, I'm not saying that that will happen, but the possibility of people would stop buying her um, paintings online or by not requesting commissions, it could impact kind of her revenue and how she makes an income. And then same with the market, like she might not sell as quickly as she would hope to, and then but she still needs to pay fees, rent, um, all these other stuff that she needs to pay. And so if she's not making enough by that time, then it might kind of like put her in a difficult position. So, but from what I've seen, she's been doing pretty well for herself. I've seen some recent ones, some news articles, and she has still made like a lot of money and she's been contributing a lot to our environment, so she's been doing pretty well. And here are some of the example of the pricing. Sometimes that could also be part of like the market risk as well, the pricing, because I mean, if it were like, I mean, these are really good. These are really good paintings, and with the debris paintings, like those can go for like a lot, but sometimes a lot of people might not want to pay as much. But there's always people around um who would want to pay that much for like something very special. So, the next one that I researched on was the Freeze, oh, thing's cutting off. Freeze Art Fair organization. Um, they are recognized that the art fairs have an environmental impact, therefore are committed to reducing their footprint by cutting carbon emissions by 50%. They're an art fair that have realized that they have been using a lot of carbon, like a lot of gases and all that. So they have resulted into um going into biofuels and also adopting LED lightings for gallery lighting and moving to an efficient hybrid power model. So they're more technical with their art fairs and their contribution to being eco-friendly. In this next one, it shows the graph of the London energy comparison. So Freeze has a many art organizations throughout the United States, Japan, London, and so this chart's for London. And Freeze found out that when they would use the power generators at their fairs, they would be contributing to diesel fuel, which is not good. So in 2019, they switched to HVO biofuel, reducing emissions by 67%. I don't know if you can really see, but the diesel fuel is right here, and this was in October 2018, so this is massive compared to gas. So this kind of would help or harm our economy. But when they switched to the HVO biofuel over here in 2019, the biofuel is right here, the gas, and then the diesel. So from this to this has decreased a lot, which is good, and it helps our environment a lot. So the financial risk of switching to eco-friendly equipment is the money. Um, it has a higher operational cost by getting the generators, batteries, the lightings, everything for some reason now is so expensive. So just by trying to like contribute to something like that, buying the equipment, it is very expensive. So for them to be able to afford it is a little bit risky. Um, the market, the market changes in demand in art fairs. So like less people nowadays are starting to not go to art fairs as much just because they can probably see it online. Online is probably like, I think we talked about it in class one time, but online has been kind of like a big obstacle in the art world just because of AI or just the basic thing of shopping online, which kind of like for art fairs kind of hurts them because they they don't sell that many tickets to go to the art fairs because everyone's going online. So that kind of decreases their income. And that will also like if less people go to the art fairs, then their reputation starts to go down, which results in the low cash flow. The capital allocation, this basically means like choosing where the money goes. So what Freeze has done is they chose to move all their money into operating fairs, media and publishing, staffing, and international growth. So if they were to focus more on media rather than um, doing an actual, I would say like art fairs, like maybe doing like a gallery online would probably help them a lot, just because nowadays everything is starting to move online. And their public perception attracts investors, reduces long-term risks and media perception, and affects brand risks and directly impacts revenue. So, um, with them being going eco-friendly, it has brought a lot of investors to help with their cause. Because with that, if they show that to the media, it shows that their organization wants to help our economy and it wants to help our environment. So a lot of people would want to like follow them, and like try to like wanting to be a part of that. So then they would start putting money, start going to art fairs and all of that. So that would really help their brand along with investors attracting people to go to their fairs because they know that if they go, they're helping for a probable cause. And here are my sources, and that is it. Thank you.